The Handmaid's Tale series is one that the fans can't get enough of. With The Handmaid's Tale 5 expected to be released soon, fans have begun to make up their own theories. Let's find out which of those could really happen. June returns to Gilead. The fans who saw June escape from Gilead and from the evil act going on there have come to the conclusion that it's possible, in fact, to have the lead star return to the place of terror. The fans might be on the right path because Elizabeth Moss, who portrays June, seems to agree with the fans that June has unfinished business in Gilead. The actress said, "Her life is about this war, and her life is about creating a better future for her daughters. That is her purpose, and let's not forget, she still has a daughter that is in Gilead." According to Elizabeth, June would be returning to Gilead in order to search for her daughter. Speaking of June, the fans believe there will be more to what she has to do in Gilead by the time she returns. June, who is also in love with Nick, might finally find the time to express her love for him by becoming his wife. This sounds really weird, as it's very possible. As far as the fans know, Gilead doesn't care about what June did to Fred, and that the action in itself wouldn't stop the system of the handmaids being practiced. The fans also think Serena would become a handmaid instead of June, as it'd be fun to see these two women go against each other in their very different new positions. So yes, the fans thought it weirdly possible to have June become a wife while there were still handmaids in Gilead. Maybe this would offer June the ability to fight the system. Luke and June's separation. According to a new fan theory, the love triangle between June, Luke and Nick may finally dissolve. Season 4 showed the fans that the married couple, June and Luke, were beginning to grow apart from each other due to the long time they spent away from one another and the trauma they'd gone through. Even though some fans really wanted a reconnection between the couple, it's obvious that it might never be possible again. And according to the theory, June and Luke are probably heading for a separation in Season 5. A Reddit user made a very detailed observation of the two characters and how they've changed from the people they were before Gilead. The user said, "I think Luke and June both think they owe it to each other to try because they both have these feelings of guilt. I don't think they're going to work as husband and wife in the long term because of how different they approach the current situation." According to the theory, Luke is a reserved husband and father, and his priority is with his family, while June has changed tremendously, from a homely wife to someone eager to bring Hannah back and destroy Gilead to the ground. June has become rather vengeful and ambitious, and poor Luke can no longer keep up. Serena without her baby. The fans really seem to have it for the Waterfords, as some viewers have theorized that Serena would lose her baby somehow. Some fans believe that Serena's baby would be taken away from her if she gets to be thrown in jail, and the baby would be placed in Rita's care instead. Another way in which Serena could lose her baby, according to fans, is that she would have no choice but to give up her baby once she gets placed in a handmaid's position given her fertility. Another fan on Reddit has a different theory on how Serena could lose her baby, which is through the demise of Serena during her childbirth due to the stress that she encountered before Season 4 ended. With Serena losing her husband and the trial waiting to decide her fate, it's possible that she doesn't get the chance and opportunity to hold on to her own baby and go after June for revenge. According to this theory, the tension between Canada and Gilead could become heightened due to decisions that have been made about keeping the baby in Canada or sending the baby to the family in Gilead. June without allies. The fans of the series also think that June would be deserted by her family and her allies, according to a popular theory online. The fans got the idea for this theory due to June's ways of forsaking people around her to go in search of more important goals. And the fans believe that Season 5 could be where many of her supporters would start to fall out. Before June gained her freedom from Gilead, her husband, Luke, and Moira were able to support her from afar without the reality of how far June could go in search of vengeance. The fans think that June, who's back with her husband now, might find it hard to be that innocent woman again. They believe that Luke and Moira would start to see what it's like to live with a revolutionary who went as far as getting rid of a popular villain and sending a threatening message to the whole of Gilead when she hung Fred on the wall. The fans have noted that June living with Luke and Moira could in some ways make Moira inconvenient because of how she hates to see June being driven by rage. Moira, who led a therapeutic group for the handmaids, wouldn't like to see June go through her relapses. With the way June has fallen out with Luke and is also threatening to leave, Moira and Luke could come to an agreement to let June leave since she doesn't seem to fit in anymore. time skip. A book released by Margaret Atwood, the author of The Handmaid's Tale, called The Testaments, shows a continuation of what happens in the series, which goes 15 years into the future. This realization has made many fans think that it's possible to have Season 5 skip many years into the future. According to the book, this fan's theory showed a detailed description and story of an older Hannah, baby Nicole, and Aunt Lydia, and what happens with June afterwards on her unwavering determination to bring Gilead down. A poster on Reddit, who had formed a theory based on the book, said that they believe June will keep trying to get Hannah out without becoming successful at it, and so Hannah will grow up to start training as an aunt in Gilead and would be out of the reach of her parents. The Reddit user also theorized that June's punishment for getting rid of Fred would be something that would shatter June's heart. The fan said Gilead would fake the demise of Hannah while still keeping her alive so that June would be led to have a different push to go against Gilead as opposed to the initial drive. Janine and Esther's great plan. The characters of Janine and Esther have been theorized to be a major part of Season 5, despite how their characters have been undermined in the last season with the way they ended up back with Aunt Lydia at the Red Center. Even though the portrayals of these two characters didn't go hand in hand at the beginning, they were later able to come to the realization that they needed each other to face the future of Gilead together. A fan of the show pointed out the obvious in the previous season, where there were certain scenes about food, and noticed that it could be a hint towards what's eventually going to happen in Season 5. The scenes in which Janine serves food and tea to the aunts have led the fans to think this could mean that Janine and Esther have plans to get rid of the aunts in Season 5 by teaming up. This weird theory actually looks like it will definitely happen, according to the fan who drew out stronger clues from the show. One such is the reference to the Last Supper, where the aunts were having dinner and Aunt Lydia was seated in the position of Jesus, and it looked like they were having their last meal. Another hint behind this theory is how Esther has been portrayed as having the knowledge to prepare poison with plants, which has made Janine long to get Esther to take a look at the garden outside. Serena's revenge. Contrary to a fan's theory that says Serena might not be able to get a shot at taking revenge, another fan has emphasized a theory that suggests Serena gets her revenge in Season 5 for what happened to her husband. With Fred gone, the fans think no one else is in a better position to take his place aside from Serena. The fan theory affirms that Serena isn't going to be discouraged about going after June, despite being trapped in an unfavorable marriage to Fred for years. Instead of Serena feeling pity for her situation, she'd turn what happened into Fred around to favor herself and possibly get a pardon that Fred fought hard to get. Another reason why fans are putting out this theory is the strange fact that Serena is someone who doesn't like to lose but loves to win. Even though June had gotten rid of her tormentor, it's still obvious that the win belongs to June, which also translates as a loss for Serena, especially with the way June sent her a message to declare her victory. Looking at the way Serena had taken everything in, it might be time for her to vent her rage, and what better way than to go after June in Season 5. Come what may, the fans are certain that this theory is a valid one, and that Season 5 would be about Serena and June fighting it out between themselves as Serena is set to become the new Fred. That's all about the weird fan theories you might be seeing in Season 5. Which do you think is the most possible? Do you have an additional theory? Let's share it in the comments section. Thanks for watching.